Alright then. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another stream. This is the fourth one so far. Once again we're back in SRB2 and once again we're looking at a mod. This time though, let me unpause the game. We are looking at Light Das's Tangle the Lemur mod, which is one that I haven't really covered on the channel. Sort of. She has appeared on the channel a long time ago. Must have been 3-4 years. Let's get in the menu so music's off. Must have been 3 or 4 years ago now. So way before I even had a mic, much less before I was doing mod reviews. I remember at the time I thought she was overly complicated, and I also criticised her for that when I did my mod ranking way back when. And I haven't touched her since. And I want to get used to her again, because I want to do another, a more recent review of her at some point soon, to look into her once again. And yeah, so I figured, do it on stream. She's a complicated character, so the hope is I can play the game and someone else can go and get her move list up and just kind of shout at me from the chat so I know what I'm doing. But before I begin, let me look through it quickly. Darius B is asking, do the Delta characters mod, review them. I do plan to do that soon enough. I did recently do a stream of them. They were my first stream. I haven't done it yet because I thought they were too complicated, but I plan to get to it at some point. So yeah, don't worry about it. One day, hopefully soon, I will be getting into the into Delta characters. But without further ado, start a save file, pull out Tangle the Lemur, and hope to not embarrass myself too much. I have no doubt I will, but she is a complicated character. So I did just look up her move list, but effectively, from what I can gather, standing completely still, she basically has a homing attack, so you can fire out her tail. If she is jumping and not aiming at anything, she will pull her tail to the ground, which I imagine will effectively, later on, work as a stomp, once we get some distance, or get some height even. Jumping and then moving, she will attach to a wall, and you can use that for various things, including throwing yourself up or swinging around, a whole bunch of things. And pressing L2 while you're moving will attach you to the ground, and you can use that either to break far more quickly. Okay, that wasn't quite what I was expecting. It also looks like you can do it for a double jump in some situations. The real question is, how do you activate Seodes? Looks like that's not something she can really do. But yeah, you get the gist. She has loads of abilities, and a triple jump, as someone in the chat's just mentioned, which also gives you extra height. And she is a difficult one to master. I wasn't able to do it back in the past, but then I didn't have much time, and also a lot less experience with the game. But yeah, you can see even just stuff like that. Enter my momentum. Here, missed the thing. Ended up grappling to the ground, and because it's a whole mess. So yeah, the hope is, before I get to reviewing her, I can show you that I am indeed practicing. Because I'd like to have some more proof to people that I do indeed practice with the characters that I review. I don't just rock up with 20 minutes of experience and just be like, oh yeah, you know, this is the character. I do practice with them. Some of them, hours and hours, others, less time, obviously. If they're less complex, then I'm not going to spend hours and hours. The mod that I'm currently reviewing, that's going to be the next video, I spent maybe 3-4 hours with, but they're not that complex, so it's not like I'm missing much by it taking longer. Ooh, I think I might have just discovered some movement tech there. Big jump. But yeah, the problem is the timing the swings. I keep doing it too late and then I end up basically, rather than throwing myself forward, I just end up grappling off the floor, which is or grappling upwards, which isn't exactly what I want to do. Let's see. Oh, nope. It's just not going to throw out a tail at all, I guess. You can do it kind of rapidly if you just tap it rather than spin. Get yourself down to the ground quickly, like you just saw there. Do it like a boxing glove. Tangle the boxer. Now, for anyone unaware, Tangle is an official Sonic character. This is not an OC. She is from the IDW comic series, which does appear to have gone more popular recently. But she was an OC. She was the big OC, in fact. She wasn't just any brand new character. She was the character that the IDW team was advertising the IDW comics with during its release. It was a big hype up event. There was a multi-part thing on Twitter of like slowly unveiling her design, and she was ultimately the first new character the series introduced. So the very first arc of the series was effectively Sonic going around the world after forces, fixing it up, meeting his new friends, and Tangle first appeared all of the way back in issue 4, if you imagine we're on issue 70, 80, whatever now. So quite a while. She was pretty instantly popular, especially when she appeared when Whisper, another OC, appeared a few issues later and they paired them up. They're definitely not girlfriends or anything like that. You know, they're so gay they can summon the lesbian flag behind them when they hold hands, but they're not partners, trust me. According to Sega mandates, no character can be in a relationship unless they're explicitly introduced being in that from day one. Fun fact for anyone who doesn't know. Or not so fun fact, depending on the kind of Sonic fan you are. If you're a big sipper, sucks to be you. Well, that was easy. So easy, I forgot to talk about it. But yeah, so she first appeared all the way back in issue 4. She's a secondary character. She appears a lot. She has a lot of appearances, but I'm not going to say that she's particularly important. She's not like constantly hanging out with Sonic. She's not part of the main cast, but she does appear pretty often in most arcs. She'll have a small role, but it won't be a major one. I personally stopped reading the Archie comics a while back. It was around the time that Belle was introduced. I'm not. If you've read the IDW comics, you know who Belle is. When she was first introduced, they were hyping up this big mystery about who her creator was. I won't go into spoilers, but it's not a particularly satisfying mystery. It was a pretty obvious one from the start. So having to sit there, and went on for years and years, genuinely a full year of them going, who could possibly be Belle's mysterious father, creator? And it's exactly who everyone expected it to be from the start. So when you've got a full year and that's just the storyline the entire time, it gets a bit boring. I stopped reading it about then. From what I can gather, she's had a few issues since. Near the start of the release, she even had her own specific mini-series along with Whisper, which is really where the two first met and started interacting with each other. That's where a lot of their relationship comes from, and that's been her role in the franchise. She's canon to the games. I don't know whether the IDW comics are officially canon. They weren't really canon from the start. There's a big thing about, well, they sort of were, sort of weren't. The games were canon to the IDW comics, but it was a kind of a debate. Are the IDW comics then also canon to the games? And at the start, they were making it out like it isn't, but ever since Frontiers, it sounded a lot like they've kind of turned themselves back, and I'm really struggling with this. I'm sorry. I'll get through this one little thing which I'm struggling with, much more than I should be, and then I'll get to answering some questions. But this is what I mean when I say C's super complex. You have stuff like this where it's just difficult because of the amount of commands you get. Right, so there we are, there's that. Jump over, have the movement, throw myself backwards when I wanted to go up. There we go. Took a while, but we got there in the end. Right, okay. Let's have a look at some questions. Right. Darius B has commented a lot. Let me try and see where the start of that conversation was. Triple jump, it is great. He said in the previous video that he will not buy any game unless it is made by a specific company. No photo, don't dream for Jackal. This game's great. I read the comics. Right, okay. Darius, you mentioned that I won't cover games unless they're made by a specific company. If you picked that up in the previous stream, that's not true. That's not the case. I'll cover games by most companies. I think you probably heard me talk about Remedy Entertainment, my darlings Remedy Entertainment. I love them to death, hyping them up and all the rest of it. They're my favourite game developers, but they're not the only game developers I'm going to touch. There are plenty of games that I'm interested in. Again, the list of games and the order in which I plan to play them for playthroughs, they're all publicly available. I've listed them all on my backlog if you want to go and find them. So there's Bethesda, there's Konami, not Konami. Yeah, it is Konami, my mistake. There's plenty of games there. I'm not limiting myself to just a single game developer. But yeah, you don't need to worry. Not limiting myself. Someone else asked, it's now disappeared off screen, but someone else asked, have I played Deltarune? Because, of course, talking about Delta characters and currently recent events pertaining to that game. I have indeed played Deltarune. I played it way back on the Switch, a fair few years back now. But more recently, after the Delta character stream, I downloaded the demo, as everyone was pointing out, that consists of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 for completely free. So I downloaded it. I'm enjoying myself. It's a lot funnier than I remember it being. I didn't find it particularly fun the first time I played it, but playing it again, just interacting with everything. Toby Fox is a very funny person, and yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying my time with Deltarune. I haven't brought the full game, and in regards to it being on the channel, probably not, or even if it is, definitely not for a long time. But yeah, never say never, but not for the foreseeable, no. Yeah, she is. So yeah, Tangle, going back to her, she isn't quite as complicated as I remember her being, but then I think I was also a little less mature, a little more impatient, and I think I was just kind of spamming buttons the first time I played her, so I wasn't really paying attention or reading through how she works, which probably didn't help. But now, being a bit more slow and steady, a bit more considered with what I'm doing, she's not bad. She's not too difficult to play. It's just the there's a threshold she needs to reach before she oh no, don't want to do that. Let's bounce up. Don't want to throw myself off. There's kind of a threshold between when she'll just kind of stick her tail to the ground and when she'll do it forwards to let her basically bounce or swing herself, which can be a little difficult to get to grips with. But it's just the swinging. Swinging's difficult. Yeah, Pistas0042. Tangle and Whisper relationship seems obvious, but not confirmed either for obvious reasons. Well, yes, there's always some degree of censorship and playing to all your different audiences throughout the world. A part of it is just if you read through, or if you go and look up the Sega mandates that they list for Ian Flynn and all of the other comic writers, a big part of that is specifically about romance and characters in a relationship, and the gist of the matter is, unless they're introduced in a relationship, they can't be put into one. So that goes for family or love relationships. So Cream and Vanilla are obviously allowed to be in a relationship because they're were introduced as parent and child. Going back to IDW Comics, there is Night and Dawn from the radio station, disc jockey, a DJ if you will. They're allowed to be in a relationship because in the character descriptions that the comic writers sent off to Sega, they were specifically listed as being in one, so that was fine. Darius B, I see that you're spamming comments, mostly about the Delta characters. The problem is I can't really comment on that, so yeah, there's not much I can say. I've played Delta characters. I know the gist of what each character does. You know, I have plans to do something with them in the future, but haven't got them done yet. So yeah, I don't know what really to say. I plan to do Delta characters at some point in the future. I've had some experience with them, but for the time being, I've got other things on my mind. Well, not on my mind, but I've got other things I'm doing before them, because I'm not that good at them, and I'd like before doing a review to be confident that I know what I'm doing with them, which is why I didn't do it with X-Sonic. If you remember my Delta character stream, I didn't review X-Sonic because I didn't feel I was good enough at playing as him to give him a fair review. Delta characters, I find them difficult to play as for one reason or another. I can't really say why. I just do find them difficult. Oh, okay, I've messed that up. Go back and try again. Right, give me a bubble, don't let me drown. Right, if I remember correctly, tail on ground. Nope. I'd forgotten how to do the spin dash thing. Is it just to go backwards? That's... Oh! I did something there. Oh, there we are. It's not quite what I was aiming for, but certainly got something. Oh, I don't think I quite have the distance to... Can you stop attaching to the ground, please? That's not what I'm wanting you to do. Yeah, this is the problem. It's trying to stop it from attaching to the ground is a nightmare. Right. I should also point out that I do really like Tangle. She's one of my favourite characters the IDW Comics introduced. I like her design, I like her personality. She's very bubbly and enthusiastic. She's one of my favourite Sonic characters, probably. Obviously, not even in the same ballpark as the fantastic and incredible E123 Omega or SBO or Metal Sonic, but, you know, she's up there. Right, okay, let me try... Nope, still got that wrong. There we go. I'm trying to read the comments, but I still haven't quite figured out that whole streamer looking at your comments and paying attention to the game and remembering, you know, interesting commentary. Still a struggle. Especially when trying to play as a character as not difficult, but complex as Tangle. It's a nightmare. I had to turn down the volume of the game just to be able to think and comment at the same time. Oh, so close. So close. Unsaw says they took Amy's personality and seemingly gave it to her. I've been in the Sonic community long enough to remember when everyone complained about Amy's annoying personality. I can guarantee you this. See, it's not because of Tangle that Amy no longer has any personality. That's just trying to avoid the controversy that was everywhere back in... Oh, looks like she can't grapple onto certain objects. That's annoying. Right, yeah, there we are. Thank you. Yeah, it's not because of Tangle that Amy has no personality anymore. It's just because they haven't really figured out what to do with her beyond being Sonic Stalker, except everyone got annoyed about her being Sonic Stalker, and now they're trying to figure out what she can be instead, effectively. So she's just kind of stuck as the girl for now, which isn't great, but to be honest, I've never really cared for Amy all that much, so I can't really comment on it. There's like some... I can't believe they do this to this character, because never really cared all that much about her. She's never been one that I'm like, oh yeah, I love Amy. You know, I like seeing her, like I like seeing every Sonic character, but she isn't a character that, you know, appears in a comic strip and like, oh yeah, she's back. Like I am with Blaze or Silver or indeed Tangle. Yeah, oh, I am struggling with this. It doesn't help that the character I'm currently reviewing has custom physics, so it's even more jarring playing as a character going back to sort of vanilla physics, but at the same time having to deal with web swinging and all the rest of it. It's a nightmare. Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm struggling with this. I'll just do the triple jump, shall I? Do you need to be going forward to do that? That's a bit annoying. Sort of, maybe? Going above a certain speed, maybe? No? Okay. Oh, man, I am not doing too hot. Right, let's try this way, because it seems to be. Unsor asks whether that's a hint on the new video. Yep, just rack your mind and think of which characters have custom physics explicitly for that one specific character. So it is a character. It's not some game-wide physics overhaul. It is just for the one character. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. And they're also, I guess, I can also state that they're not that complex. They're quite similar to a vanilla character, but yeah, I won't say anything more than that for now. You'll have to wait and see. Keep the suspense going. There we are. Pistas? Oh, I somehow completely zoned out the fact I'm in a boss battle there, but it's not that high stakes, so let me try and have a look. Right. Pistas0042 asks, what's your thoughts / opinion on the Sonic Old Thock? This caused drama apparently. I'm assuming you're talking about them changing the Thok. Please correct me if I misunderstood you, but I'm assuming you're talking about them talking about changing the Thok. I hope they change their minds. I like the Thok. I think it's a good ability for Sonic. I've heard, you know, people talking about, it means you're in the air too much, and yeah, I see what they mean, but no, I've liked the Thok. I don't dislike it. I think I don't necessarily like the reasoning they're going with for why they're changing it. I don't think it really bears fruit. You know, like making the game simpler to understand. Well, that's not really a problem in my eyes. I'm stuck in the mud. Can I get out of the mud? I want to get out of the mud. Let me out. I am struggling. See, yeah, this is why I've needed to do a stream on this character, because I can't be going out into and doing a review of her, or indeed, for the 5000 special I promised, doing the mod ranking with my ability to play as her at this level. It's just, it wouldn't be fair. So, I can't spin. So yeah, hence the reason I haven't played her today, just to get to grips with her, practically. And not embarrass myself when the mod ranking comes out or the review comes out and everyone's like, oh, your footage is terrible. Yeah, I know. Right. Jump, jump, jump. Easy. He keeps kind of doing flips in the air. I can't tell whether that's just an animation thing or whether that's some sort of representative of the triple jump. Right, okay, avoid you, sorry. Up the stairs. I don't know what it is, but for years I struggled with running up those stairs all in one go, because I just kept getting myself stuck on the ledges, but recently I've been able to do it fine. I don't know whether they've changed the collision there slightly, or whether it's something to do with my new PC or new controller, but it feels good to finally just be able to run up those stairs, see the Dark Souls reference and move on. Right, while we're waiting, let me have a look at the comments again. Unsure asks... Oh, okay, you know, it's too much. I'll talk about it once we get to the end. Oh, this triple jump is a bit disorienting for this moment. Try not to land on the spikes. There we are. Right, let's have a look. To the thing, yeah, if they change something, I might have to change mouse. Use tails and wall and normal hit using the skill issue when talking about game mechanics. Yeah, I think that ultimately comes down to when they're looking at changing the Thok. I think it is just a skill issue, in all honesty. On my Discord server, I am running a defense squad on Dr. Robotnik's ring races, and so many of the complaints I see on that can be summed up entirely to just skill issue. Just, you need to get better. Not to sound, mean or, smug or anything, but it is like a case of, I don't think the problem is the game. There we are, look, saved. I'm good at this, I promise. I know what I'm doing. This was all very intentional. I meant to do all of this. Look at that. Meant to do all of that. Right, Thobile Zakaza asks, thoughts on Sonic Racing Crossroads? Looks good. Don't think it's worth $70, but one thing I did learn recently, or that we've learned recently, is that apparently every single free character, so not just the paid for in the season pass, but every free character as well will be getting their own stage that comes with the game. So it's not just the 30 stages that come with the game already. It's not just the Crossroads, or no, it's 30 Crossroads, and then it's not just the stages that come in the vanilla game, and it's not just the stages coming with the season pass, but also apparently every free character also gets their own special stages, which does, in my eyes, alleviate the price a little bit. Probably still not $70 worth of game, but definitely slightly more justified than it appeared to be at first glance. Oh, messed up. Go back. There we are. Not come back with a tail. If it all goes wrong, I don't know what it is about this one platform, but I keep getting half of it just doesn't load for some reason, and I don't know why. It's the only platform in the game that's that bad. Everything else, you know, there's the occasional problem, but that one is just completely gone. Right, avoid you. Darius B, Darius B's apparently left, but he did say part of the reason that Sonic needs to have a simpler moveset than the Thok is because they're used a lot by beginners, which is true, and that is the argument that I've seen a lot of people use for it, but I don't think it really holds water. I mean, SRB2 isn't difficult, but it is a bit more of a skill-based game than I think a lot of the vanilla Sonic games are, just with like the complex platforming and all, not complex, but the slightly more in-depth platforming, slightly more involved here and there. That, you know, relies on that. But also, you've always had Tails as the easy mode if you can't handle the Thok. And I don't think the Thok is that complicated. Like, once you get used to it, it's not that bad. I don't find myself throwing myself off pits all that often. You just kind of need to learn to use it in moderation. Obviously, if you're speedrunning, you're just using it 24/7, but then at the same time, I don't expect a new player to be using speedrunning tricks and just constantly using the Thok. So, yeah. I don't agree that just because Sonic is the character that people will pick for their first time, which is true, it's always going to be true, no matter how you look at it, people will default to Sonic in the Sonic game, that it should be dumbed down for that reason. There we are, just about got it. Yeah, okay, I'll just use the spring. I won't try anything interesting with the character, I'll just use the spring. And this gives me a good opportunity to read the chat. Texted says, greetings, good to see you. Pistas0042, what's your thoughts of peel out and how would you improve to make it unique from the spin dash? I like the peel out. I mean, it's carried by the animation, so 100% it is. But no, I like the peel out. I don't know what I would do to make it different from the spin dash. You know, I'm sure there would be something, but okay, I need to be a bit more involved next time. Dr. Crayon says, holy, that tail animation looks so cool. Yes, it does. I don't really know how they do it. I'm sure, you know, if you ask around, there'll be someone who explains all of the... I know it's Lua. That's the coding engine. I know it's wizardry with that, but it's certainly impressive however they did it. Right, okay, I might need to be a bit more proactive here. Maybe not just... Oh. So the problem with homing attacks, they don't actually go to the opponent. They can be a bit problematic. Well, not, you know, they can be a bit difficult to use in situations like this. I reckon I need to kind of get them at an angle, but also maybe I will just go into the air and not attack them at all. That's good to know. Hashtag struggling. Come on. There we go. Once more. Once more we're feeling. Last hit. Unbelievable. Unsourced says it's probably something to do with 3D sprites moving around with a spline. Yeah. I don't know how they do it. It's clearly one sprite that they've duplicated multiple times and recolored. If you look closely, it's just the one sprite with different colors. But I can't comment on it. And yeah, clearly they're linked in some way. Spline sounds about right, but I can't comment. It's a bit too technical for me. Right. Thobio Zakaza asks... Need to be paying more attention. Right. Thobio Zakaza asks... Where than Silverhorn, what mod do you most recommend in SRB2? I think I say this in every stream, but yeah, definitely the Silverhorn characters. Definitely one of the mods I recommend. Single individual character that I like the most is Neosonic, so I'd recommend them. Right, okay. So yeah, Neosonic is a single individual character. Silverhorn characters as an overall package, I mean, like, can't be beaten, surely. Just the amount of stuff in that mod, can't beat it. And Thobio Zakaza also asks, if you had to give Sonic a new form, what would it be? It wouldn't be a new form per se, but Super Sonic 2 from Sonic Frontiers, I'd overhaul that. It's so boring in Frontiers proper. I give it like an actual difference other than just being Super Sonic with blue eyes. Either that or the glitzy Sonic you get afterwards when you're fired out of Supreme's cannon at the end. I make that a proper, fully fledged form. I can't believe they were like, what interesting characters. Oh, no, wrong. There we are. What interesting forms can we give Sonic in the final horizon? Well, we can either give him... Right, let me try and... Right, well, it's not quite the direction I meant to go, but it works. It worked in the end. Yeah. What form do we give Sonic at the end of Final Horizon 2? A brand new, extra powerful, even more than Super Sonic form. What do we give him to fight this, like, impossibly powerful, immortal god of death who appears as the moon and was trapped in the internet for 10,000 years or whatever it was? What do we do to make him be able to beat that? We give him blue eyes. Fantastic. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give him blue eyes, and then we're going to actually nerf him in terms of gameplay, because obviously he can't use the... he has to have the perfect parry now, so in terms of actual gameplay, he's even less powerful than he was before. Obviously, big Super Saiyan 2 reference. I understand the Dragon Ball reference, but come on, surely there was something more you could do with that. Even just having like the Cyber Sonic form right at the very end and making that the extra powerful new form, I think would have worked better. Saved it. There we are. That's what I meant to do. I meant to do that from the start. Thobio Zakaza says, makes sense, but all at one time. I mean, yeah, but then when you break it down, pretty much the only returning form Sonic ever has is Super Sonic, which is fair. Like, I think extra forms for Sonic works best as one-time things. I don't like. Obviously, I understand it's all a Super Saiyan reference. It was from the start. There's no way around that. But I prefer it. I think they kind of carved their own identity out, especially with the storybook games, of everything just being a one-time thing in terms of transformations, and I like that. I like the fact that Darkspine Sonic hasn't returned. Let me see how this goes. Nope, it's not quite the direction I meant to go. It just works. Todd Howard, it just works. That's all I'm going to say until I throw myself the wrong way. Right, I don't think she'll be able to attach to these, so... It was working. But I think I'm going to need to use some of that ridiculous speed you can build up. And then try and get to the ground a little faster. Pistar 0042, Hypersonic. Yeah, that was kind of what I was expecting them to do with an extra super, extra powerful form beyond Supersonic. I was kind of expecting it to be Supersonic, Hypersonic, because that's what the series has built up. Obviously, because the reason that they've been so weird about Hypersonic over the years is because apparently it was giving kids epileptic seizures back in the day. So, with flashing between the colours too quickly, it was triggering people's epilepsy. So that's the reason that it never returned. But, like, you can redesign it. You can do something new with it. Like, even just give him an all-white appearance or whatever. Because when you break it down, it's kind of the only thing that's really flashing with Hypersonic is the aura, and the actual skin itself is, or fur is more white. So you could just do that. But yeah, I think, I'll be honest, I like Sonic Frontiers, but Final Horizon was a big disappointment for me. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't end up liking it. I still haven't actually properly finished it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I never actually properly finished Final Horizon. Because... Oh, I think I've messed up here. I mean, it kind of worked. Kind of ended up working in the end, and that's been my entire time playing with Tango so far. Can be summed up as it worked in the end. Wasn't quite what I was going for, but it worked in the end, and who can judge that? I've been trying. If anyone's watched speedruns of Arid Canyon Act 2, they'll know that there's a big trick you can do here with the minecarts. Over in the section that's just coming up to effectively skip the entire cave section. Earlier today I was trying for 20 minutes to do it, and I could not pull it off. I think you need to find a way to speed up the minecart beforehand to make it over, but I can't get the angle down. TechZed asks, what's the reason for playing as Tangle on this fine day? Well, as I said right at the start of the stream, I'm hoping to do a review of her soon enough, or maybe not a review, but even just to kind of familiarise myself with her, because she is a very... she's a difficult character, she's a complex character, and when I plan to do the complete SRB2 mod ranking of every single mod that I've ever covered on the channel, into one big, from worst to first ranking sometime in the future, I want to, feel like I'm decent enough with everyone to be able to give an honest answer to who is the best, and not just have it be a skill issue that makes Tangle really low on the tier list, or someone like Neosonic, who, is easy, and I think that might be part of the reason I like him so much, because he's a really easy character to play as. So yeah, it's practice, effectively, and I figured, well, need to do a stream, need to practice with this character. I want to do what I can cover on today's stream. It's a really difficult choice. Because so many abilities linked to such similar commands, and it can be just a nightmare to juggle them all in my head and get it to work properly. So yeah, that's the reason I'm playing as Tangle today, if you missed right at the start of the stream. Right, okay, once again. Thorbar Zakaza says, Dark Sonic made such a mark on me, you know, 2011, 2016. Yeah, I remember Dark Sonic. I remember people loving Dark Sonic. It's just a, you know, really popular character. And then when you actually look at what he ended up doing in the anime, it's not actually that impressive. He beats up a couple of jobbers and that's it. Disappears, never seen again. I saw a recent Twitter post about how when you break down their significance in the storyline and all the rest of it, Dark Sonic kinda has appeared in the games, and it's the werehog. Like, in terms of their storyline, Dark Sonic's the werehog. In terms of, you know, negative emotions of the Chaos Emeralds and this and that, and yeah, it's Dark Sonic's just the werehog. When you know, really break it down. You know, kind of a oversimplification, but yeah, it's the werehog. So yeah, so I saw someone point that out, and it's like, yeah, no, that is true when you break it down. Dark Sonic's whole thing of, oh, he's supersonic, powered up by the negative emotions of the Chaos Emeralds, and the werehog is like the negative emotions of the Chaos Emeralds unleashed with their positive energy drained and all the rest of it. Like, yeah, they're kind of the same thing. I need to stop bouncing my head on this ledge. And Sora asks, do you know how many mods I've covered? Over 100. More than 100. Quite a lot more than 100, I imagine, as well. But no, I can't comment exactly. I'm sure if you were to go onto my SRB2 playlist, most of it's mod reviews, you'd be able to get a pretty decent number if someone, you know, just quickly went and got that up on an extra tab just to kind of see. It'd be pretty much the same amount as that. So yeah, whatever that ends up being, that's how many mods I've covered. But yeah, definitely over 100. I wouldn't be that surprised if it's close or even past 200. Although that is maybe being a bit generous. And as individual reviews, probably a little lower, because I imagine not a huge number of them, but a not, you know, negligible amount of them are just from way back at the start of the channel, where I was just playing as them and I didn't actually review them in really low resolution, and oh, it was awful. It's a good thing that no one ever watches those videos because they're terrible. It's about 120, 150. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. 120 sounds about right. I'd say that's probably pretty close to the exact number. Overall in SRB2, yeah, I say probably 150 for SRB2 as a whole, without having checked my SRB2 playlist to be sure. I'd say probably about 150 on the on SRB2 as a whole, and then yeah, 120 mod reviews. I'd say that sounds about right to me. You know, just based off that. I've been doing this entire thing. It's a good thing no one's texted me because I haven't actually had anything on Do Not Disturb. That would have been awkward. Oh. You see, I'm messing up the swings. But that section's always strange. I can never quite figure out what's actually the damaging hitbox there, which makes it a bit of a nightmare when you're just trying to speedrun through it and like ride the wave. Junior Reed says, I've watched one or two of your older ones before. I was taken aback by just how much your voice changed in just a year or two. Yeah, I've done a ton of things with my voice to try and make it sound better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. right when I started the channel in the very early days, I had no experience with public speaking, and I basically just, I ran through my script as quickly as humanly possible, which, yeah, hence why I really, really hate those old videos, because I just do a terrible job on them. And since then, I've done a whole bunch of things. I've tried voice modulation, not like really. I was quite intense with it at the start to kind of like deepen the voice and make it a bit fuller and all the rest of it. But I then toned it down. I've done no filters at all, so it's just my natural voice. I've practiced public speaking more to kind of get closer to my natural voice, because I think my natural voice is quite a bit deeper than the one I have on my videos a lot of the time. It kind of goes all over the place. You know, sometimes I try and deepen my voice in the videos, and, you know, that's that. So yeah, it's all over the place in the end. Can I do this in one? Yes. Oh, yes. Perfect. That area is so much easier with my new controller and the new PC that can actually handle 60 frames per second. It was a nightmare on the old PC, the old controller, and the old camera settings, because I don't know what bastardized camera settings I have, but they're not the default. So yeah, I've done a whole load of things with my voice, trying to make it sound as good as possible. I'm not a very good audio engineer. I mean, I don't think I'm a particularly great video editor in terms of productivity and all the rest of it. I'm quite slow on that front. But audio editing, I've got no clue. I'm terrible at it. In terms of like cutting out the bits where I've stumbled over my voice and making it all sound natural. I once had someone come up to me and ask me to edit some footage for them, and I couldn't do it. I mean, the footage was not very good, so I was struggling with just that bit, but the audio was atrocious and there was nothing I could do, because I got no real experience or knowledge of it. It's not even like I can search anything up to get a footing in. It was terrible. Right, can I skip this section, or is it all... Right, can I do a triple jump and just skip that opening section? Yes, I can, but I need to actually be facing the right direction to do it. Right, let's... There we go. Boom. Skip, yep. Kill the Jason. Horrible enemies. Worst enemies in the game? I used to think it was the Terabyte, but as I have matured and gotten better at SRB2, I can tell you it is the Crustaceans and the Jettisons. They are the worst enemies in the game. 100%. No one worse than them. Other boss fights, Metal Sonic boss fights, awful. Easily the worst part of the game in my eyes, but, you know, you're... And especially because every mod under the sun that has boss fights feels the need to cram it in somehow. But, yeah. Individual enemies, Crustaceans, and the Jettisons are the worst. Right, have a look at the comments. We're in a slightly more relaxed section. 149 unique mod reviews. JackalMan, what would you say for your channel for short? As in, like, if you didn't want to say the JackalMan, what would you use? Jackie? I don't know. I've never thought about it that much. Like, you know, what do you call your character for short? I feel the JackalMan, it's not that long-winded. Like, if it was the JackalMan and then just a bunch of extra crap at the end of it, it'd be one thing. But I don't think JackalMan's too long-winded of a name. I skip. Evie says, the thing I love about this Tangle mod is I can hold on another person and move them around, or they fly me around like like holding Super Silver and flying. That's another character I need to cover soon enough, is Silver. That was another character I enjoyed back in ye old days, back in 2021, 22. I really enjoyed Silver, and I haven't touched him in years, so I need to try him out again. But yeah, I don't play SRB2 multiplayer at all, so I can't comment on how fun it is to like bounce around with it. I kind of want to try and get lots of members of my Discord server onto a Discord group chat, or try and get some of my friends to play the game with me and just try and record some multiplayer stuff. But the problem is that, you know, when you're doing that kind of thing as a YouTuber and you're the one making the footage, I kind of feel like you need to be the one hosting the server, and I can't. Like, fundamentally, my right, before I make a fool of myself, can I actually grip onto these? Yes, I can. Right. This is either right. I'm gonna give a forewarning. This is either gonna go horribly wrong, or it's gonna be amazing, and I have no idea what. Okay, so that one wall, right at the start, that one you could grip onto with the tail. The rest of it, not so much. Well, there we are. Oh, come on. Darius B says, I'd rather do Ray mod than this one. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of Ray either. I think just as like a character, I like Tangle more, just because as a character in the Sonic franchise storyline and all the rest of it, I prefer her over Ray, and as a character design, so getting to play as her in some capacity in SRB2, that's fun, whereas with Ray, I have Sonic GT. I've just played Sonic GT. That's the best incarnation of Ray out there. And the SRB2 one, you know, I can't blame them for not being as good, because obviously the game isn't programmed around, you know, Ray working. It's not a priority for the devs. So there's only so much they could do, but I always just end up comparing the two there. And it doesn't come out favourably for SRB2. What is Sonic GT? It is another Sonic fan game made by... Oh, what's his name? Something Gonzalez? I want to say Xavier, but I don't think that's correct. So I apologise if he ends up finding the stream one day for not being able to remember your name. Right, I've messed up here. Yeah, made by Xavier Gonzalez. It's a big 3D thing. Very, very momentum heavy. Came out in 2021, I think. I did a playthrough of it way back when. I think 2022? Maybe just right at the start of 2023, maybe. The problem is that it's a pretty intense game to run, and on my old PC, I did not have a good time running it. And it was a big part of the reason, actually, that I had to get a new PC quite recently, because I was actually playing it one day, just, you know, for fun. It wasn't for a video or anything, but I was just playing a bit of it for fun. And as I was playing it, I heard a crash, like a bang, from my PC, and at that exact moment, or about half a second later, the game just died. It was running, but at about 4 seconds a frame. So not 4 frames per second, 4 seconds per frame. And I think that was my GPU dying, just completely, you know, gone. And yeah, that was the point. I was like, okay, this isn't working. I need to get a new PC. I can't work with this anymore. So you can thank Sonic GT for the reason that we've now got 60 frames per second SRB2 footage, and I don't think I'm gonna get here on time. Yeah, I'm dead. Oh no! Ah. Darius B, I see you saying in the comments that I lost. Wrong. I passed. Barely. Like split second, but, you know. Can Tangle deal with Metal Sonic? This is a genuine, like, test I do with all of the modded characters I play, like, to test how powerful they are. Can they handle Metal Sonic? The answer, rarely. It's a good way to separate the, like, good characters from the overpowered characters. If they have some way of dealing with Metal Sonic, I'm happy to call them overpowered. And I thank them for it, because it means I have to play this character. I need to play this horrible boss fight less. I hate this boss. I cannot put into words how much I hate. Well, I have put it into words in the boss ranking I made, but you get my point. It's just, it's awful. Just an atrocious boss fight. It's not so bad once you get used to it, but it's just how completely inconsistent he is with the running away from you. He cannot make up his mind on whether or not he will, like, dart away or whether he'll just sit there completely unfazed. And it just makes it such a drag. Like, yeah, no, I hate him. But at least it's over. We've got Brack Eggman, who still isn't amazing, but we'll try him. Isn't an amazing boss, but he's at least better than that. I'd say Metal Sonic is the worst boss, but as we're getting up to Brack Eggman, I'll talk about him a little bit. I'd say Brack Eggman is the one that is the worst off from SRB2 being sprite-based. Like, he'd be a pretty good boss. Like, not amazing, but he'd be a pretty good boss if he had build-up and, like, to all of his attacks. And can you get over here? Stop dipping about over there. Get into the whatever. Like, if he had proper animations for all of his attacks and, like, built up to firing the flamethrower, you know, like bosses do in most games. If he had, like, setup animations so you could react in time and properly and all the rest of it, he'd be a pretty good boss. But because SRB2 doesn't, and he just immediately fires out the attack without any sort of warning, it's a big negative to the boss. Okay. Oh, well, that's convenient. Yeah. Oh, you. Like, wait, where's the? Did he delete the acid somehow? Like, how'd that happen? He got rid of my lap. He stole my acid. Like, I've got to go run around for a minute waiting for the acid to respawn. 2 streams. First time I've seen that happen. I don't know why it did that. You can't hit me. You can't hit me. No, no, hit the damn bot. Why are you just attacking the floor? Hit the. Yeah, I don't know what Tango's doing there, but he just kind of gave up on hitting the boss, and instead just started grabbing the floor, which isn't particularly useful. Right, okay, no, get. Brack Eggman is a very hit or miss boss. Sometimes he works great, other times you have stuff like this going on. It's like, can you just stop, please? Can you just go under the water and finish? Or go under the acid there. But yeah, you need to face me so I can actually hit you. There we go. Look at that. Happened in the end. It's a shame there's no taunts. It'd be cool if Tangle had taunts, but sadly not. But there we are. That's Tangle. I'll play a little more because I want to see whether she has super form. I might go and go activate a mod to play through and test her super form. But yeah, there you are. I feel like I've gone a little better, a little more, understand her a little more than I did right at the start, before I started today. But yeah, she is a complex character. I think even beyond this I need to do a little more practice with her just to really get to grips. Guess you can say I tangled his wires. Yep, I think that's fair. For anyone wondering, I've mentioned it a few times, but if anyone's wondering, do I bother going and unlocking the super form for everyone? No, I do not. I do not have the time to be doing that with every single character I review, so yeah, I just use Pandora's box. So I remember with the co-review, I made a big thing of complaining about their super form, despite them not having one, because I had just gone onto Pandora's box and activated it. Because I didn't realize that was something that the Pandora's box could do. I didn't realize it could just make up a super form. Okay, so Super Tangle. It's fun enough. It's pretty much what you'd expect, but fun character. It's not really a big change from the usual one, in all honesty. But there we are. What's that? 12 million points? 1 million points? I didn't count how many units there were there. But I see someone in the comments, Evie, asking, you have been doing character reviews, but what about level pack reviews? Well, I think I've done a couple of them. I'm trying to do more, but seeing as Tangle appears in this one, why don't we move on to Solstice Dancer 2? Feels like a good character to play on this as, get a bit of Tangleception. For whoever it was asking what's my favourite level pack a while back, it's this, 100%. Solstice Dancer 2. Place the original Solstice Dancer first. It is a proper sequel. It isn't just like spiritual or anything. But no, this is definitely my favourite level pack in the game.
As for the rodents, I hear there's some pretty scary stuff.
I remember way back when I would watch Roger's videos obsessively. I don't see anyone talk about him nowadays, so I don't know whether, like, I don't know what you call them, the new gen Sonic crowd, whether they just don't know about him or whether he just kind of lost popularity or whatever, but no. I feel he deserves more love as more than just the guy who makes really good SRB2 maps. There we are, use SRB2's weird water physics to my advantage. To be fair, I don't think I'm going to be making much use of Tangle's abilities in this level pack, because it's not hugely vertical, but oh well, might as well pad out the stream. I'm trying to make sure that they all last about 2 hours. That's what I've been going for with each of these streams. Is getting them to be about 2 hours long. More than that, and it's like, in all honesty, my throat starts to hurt if I talk for that long, constantly. I'm constantly talking for more than 2 hours, and it's like, oh. My throat starts to get dry and ache and all the rest of it. So yeah. Unsure, he needs to go back in time to do Sonic Frontiers in blank amount of time. I don't know why I read the he needs to go back in time. Has he not done one of those yet? I haven't caught up with his videos in a while. I know he was doing stuff for Sonic Superstars. The other thing is that back in the meta era, so if we say 2013 up to 2017, let's say, 2022, when Frontiers came out and was a bit more serious. Back then, he was a big critic of it. The way that I knew that Sonic was back, like he had won people over, is that Roger, who was probably one of the, not harshest, but most consistently critical members of the Sonic community during the meta era, really genuinely, well, didn't like love Frontiers, but he was like, yeah, no, this is good, this is what I wanted. It's like, okay, we're back. We've won people over again. Which is why it annoys me a little bit going through the Sonic Crossroads drama and people complaining about, why is Ian Flynn here? He sucks. Like, he doesn't understand all these characters. It's like, you do not know how long people were fighting to get Ian Flynn to write these games. You are, you privileged youth. You do not understand how long we were fighting for this very thing. Not mention the fact that a lot of the time it's like tiny little, you know, individual lines or whatever. It's like, okay, get over yourself. Pistas0042 asks, what's the weirdest crash you had with SRB2? Well, I've always found SRB2 to be a pretty stable game. I've never had huge amounts of problems with it. Probably... here we are. Tangle Sepson finally came through.
Tonight's Dr. Eggman's inauguration of the Royal Palace.
I'll let them finish talking.
We're breaking in and try to rescue the princess. Care to join?
Come on. Hello, Tangle. Where were you? Tangle face to face. Who's the real Tangle here? It's me, obviously.
Follow me.
Right. Anyway, yeah. Weirdest crash I had with a SRB2. It wasn't really a crash per se, but for whatever reason, there was one point where... I'll just finish talking before I get to this because it gets a bit loud. There was one point where I was... I had just started SRB2, and it loaded and started going through the storyline and all the rest of it, you know, like the introduction sequence. And then it started playing again in another window, and then again in another window, and again and again and again, and it just kept, like, new windows and new instances of SRB2 just kept starting over and over and over again, until eventually I had 26 unique instances of SRB2 running at the same time, all of them with their audio playing each other. So it's just a horrible, horrible noise, until eventually I managed to close it down and shut it down and get it working again. But yeah, that's the weirdest problem I've had with SRB2. It isn't really a crash because it happened before I started the game. And, you know, it didn't, like, cause me to have to Alt F4 or whatever. But that's the weirdest instance I've had with SRB2.
Infiltrators, shoot to kill.
Ooh, it looks like Tango can destroy these guys in one hit. That's good to know. Get out there. Or, no, it's not. The problem isn't... Here she is. Who's the real Tangle? She's a bit bigger than me. Why doesn't the larger Tangle just eat the smaller Tangle? These are the questions that scientists have yet to answer. Right. Tobio, Zakar... Sorry. Problem with trying to play the game and read comments at the same time. Keep getting people's names mixed up. Tobio Zakaza asks, in your opinion, what makes a good Sonic game? That's a difficult one. 3D, definitely. And modern Sonic. I've always... there's another Tangle. I've spoken about Tangle Sepson, but there's ever more of them. Right, anyway. 3D, modern Sonic, because I've always preferred modern Sonic. Serious storyline. Like, not, you know, grim, dark or whatever, but kind of takes itself a bit seriously. It's a bit of a hot take, because I've seen a lot of people who are not big fans of the recent EDM soundtrack that Sonic's got, but EDM, I love EDM. You know, a little bit of rock here and there, sure, but I'm not going to complain that I get to listen to some really good EDM while I'm playing my Sonic games. good sense of speed. So I always quite liked the boost formula. You know, even when people were saying, "Ah, it's so boring and it doesn't really fit the Sonic. It isn't properly Sonic or whatever." I always quite liked it. Just the because of the sense of speed. Right, where am I actually going here? Right, this isn't really how you're meant to use Tangle's ability, especially because it keeps kind of launching me back each time. But here's where I find out there's nothing here. Fantastic use of my time. Back in the elevator. But yeah, serious storyline. I don't really have a preference for music. Multiple playable characters is what my dream Sonic game would have. But like an interesting mix of playable characters. So not just Sonic and Classic Sonic, but at the same time not just Sonic and Amy and Tails and Knuckles, because you know they're the ones we have every time. I want like, you know, Sonic, Blaze and Vector, let's say, just like a smorgasbord of Sonic characters. I think that'd be an interesting way of doing it. Just like each game you get obviously Sonic as a playable character, but yeah, like you'd have Sonic and then just two randomly selected Sonic characters. They're like, right, what kind of game can we make with them? With, you know, what kind of gameplay style would Silver have? I've always thought he would have quite a puzzle game kind of vibe to him. You know, SBO, what would you do for SBO? Some sort of stealth game mechanic. Omega, I would do like a Ratchet and Clank thing with Omega. Like, you know, unlocking all of these zany weapons and all the rest of it. That's what I do with Omega. Sado, kind of like Sonic, but a different vibe. So, you know, kind of grungier, slightly more darker in terms of, you know, scarier enemies, slightly more mature storytelling. So yeah, Dream Sonic game is a Ratchet and Clank made in partnership with Insomniac, except Ratchet is replaced with E123 Omega. That's my Dream Sonic game. Ratchet and Clank, but Omega is instead. If someone could make a Omega mod for Ratchet and Clank, I'd play that on the channel. I'd go and, you know, through very legal means obtain that Ratchet and Clank game, play it with Omega 100%. Pistas0042, have you ever played a Zelda game and what's your favourite one? The only Zelda games I have played is Breath of the Wild and Tangle Sepson. Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and between the two of them I'd have to say Age of Calamity because I really don't like Breath of the Wild. You know, I understand the appeal, I get it, but I don't enjoy it myself. It's just too... A good explanation of it that I saw is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation for in gaming. So effectively the idea that intrinsic motivation is the idea that the game gets you to progress and makes you want to progress by giving you the opportunity to develop your own skill. So basically make your own fun, for lack of a better term. So things like fighting games, you know, platforming games, just to kind of, you know, figure out the best combos, or, you know, get the best times in a platformer, get the best times. And then extrinsic motivation is much more things like RPGs, and that's You know, like, you want to progress because you want to unlock new party members, or you want to unlock some new weapon, and that's the reason you do things. And I think Breath of the Wild kind of lost me, because it has this awkward thing where it kind of teases you with extrinsic motivation, and that's the reason, that's the big thing that I like in a lot of games. Outside of certain games, I'm generally in it for the extrinsic motivation, like the progression of a story, or the unlock of a new character, or to have something ticked off a checklist, because, you know, I do like my Ubislop. I do like my 100-hour open world with, you know, 35 enemy camps to complete. As long as they give me a checklist to tick off as I'm doing it, I do have a guilty pleasure for that sort of Ubisoft slop. So they kind of promise that with Breath of the Wild, but then they don't deliver on it. Like, as you're playing through, you know, you go out there to collect new weapons or whatever, and as soon as you unlock that weapon, it's barely an upgrade at all, and as soon as you unlock it, you get about 3 swings with it before it breaks and that you've lost it. And it's just like that over and over again, and I just kind of lost steam with it quickly. I think I got to the 4th Divine Beast, the camel. They have names, I can never remember them. And at that point I was like, okay, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I didn't like the combat all that much either, which was another thing. And obviously, it's Breath of the Wild. You know, you have infinite amount of freedom with going and defeating your enemies by dropping barrels or throwing rocks at them and all the rest of it.
I got Princess Sally.
But it's just, you take like 20 minutes to set that up, and your reward for doing it is stick that breaks in 20 minutes, and it's just like, I can't do this. So yeah, very long-winded, but I have played Legend of Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but my favourite Age of Calamity, because as much as Breath of the Wild is a very important game and all the rest of it, I did not enjoy it in the least. I'm sure I probably would not enjoy Tears of the Kingdom either, and I am struggling without a spin here. Oh, my one ring saved me.
Enemies, do not resist, accept your destruction.
Okay, that's on me. Right, go away. You know what? When I was talking about my ideal Sonic game, this is the kind of vibe I like it to have, like the running through and just force of nature through some, you know, palace or whatever. I wouldn't mind my Sonic games feeling like that. I'm just like knocking people over and breaking vases and ruining fancy meals in like some tyrant's palace or whatever. Like obviously Eggman, because this is very much Sat-AM based. So this kind of vibe, I wouldn't mind my Sonic games having. And I don't think they've really had it. And this is too many things going on at once. That is too many orbs coming at me. And I got no rings. Fantastic. Oh! Out of context, that's very concerning. What? There are too many balls. I don't know what you're angling at there. I don't know what you mean.
Smash them! Destroy them!
Oh yeah, this time let's actually, you know, hit the opponent. I'm getting blasted by lasers. I got hit. Out of context, that's very concerning. They talk about knocking over people and destroying fancy meals. Ah, well, you see, I think Sonic should destroy the petty bourgeois. He would be very on board with running through a palace and knocking over rich people's food. Right, let's just destroy you this time so you can't kill me again. If I just destroy all of these enemies, are they going to come back the next time I run through this convoy? Let's try this. Are they back? Yes, there's even more of them. Fantastic. Oh! I do not remember this section being this frustrating. I remember this being much simpler. I don't know what I'm struggling to get rid of so much this time.
Smash them! Destroy them!
There we go. Took a while. Damage boost. Oh! I'm getting my ass kicked.
On your turn, ferociousness! Crush them! Smash them!
Smash them, destroy them. Yeah, I get it, Eggman. Only meant to do it once or twice. Let's try this side. I do not remember this laser being this accurate last time I was playing this. There we go. Finally. Just cheat. Oh, I'm sure I could, but no. This time, no. Unsure asks, how does the sip increase in length? Don't think about it too hard. Don't think about it. And we're in Noto. And there's all sorts of secrets around here. And all sorts of like characters you can go and talk to by running into them. Tango told me I was... Tango told you that Tango was coming? Wow. Okay. Go and tell me / her / Tango that I send my regards to me / her / Tango. But yeah. We got Belle here. We got... Oh, what's her name? I know it's from the Fleetway comics. I think her name's like Topaz or something. I might be completely off there. So don't quote me on that. I think her name's like Topaz or whatever. But yeah, there's loads and loads of references here. We have Percy Pig, I think his name is. An Inkling. So that's probably some collaborator. I think there. Obviously we've got Sally Acorn. But yeah, let's not go into too many things. We've got Bunny Rabbit.
Hey, come on. I'm a big fan of your work.
It's a disaster. The entire
We got Nicole. Oh, Tangle again.
We can't do much until we got the populations back on our side.
I managed to put a mind control signal on this tape. If someone
Molly.
could the TV station, it would break a lot of people free.
The TV studio is in the middle of the industrial area. It is
Oh.
heavily guarded. Good luck.
We won't attack until it's...
I forgot about this TV studio. It got a little while before it gets to it, but there's a TV studio level here. And it's so loud. And I kept dying the first few times I played it. It's just so loud. It hurt my ears. Hopefully, slightly lower volume. It's not going to be too bad. Unsourced says, I've only played this without the cutscenes. I don't know how you just say it with cutscenes. I don't know whether that's its own separate file or what, but I've always played it with the cutscenes. And I think the cutscenes are pretty good. I like the vibe. The voice acting's not bad either. Can't fault the voice acting. Oh, dangerous plant. I also like the music. There's a lot of music from these packs, especially Sosa Stanza 1. Less so Sosa Stanza 2, but the first Sosa Stanza. Loads of music I liked. Ooh, let me try and name one. Big Moon Rising, the from the Discworld animated TV series, which I had never heard of before this. That's a good one. I like that. Skank Funk Rockin' Commander from Monkey Ball. A bit of an odd one, but one I liked. There's a couple of Hideki Naganuma songs, if you know him from Sonic Rush. good musician, bit of an acquired taste, a bit of a strange one. It's pretty much entirely samples, but there's a couple of songs from him in here, from some of his lesser known games, so not Sonic Rush, but like Ollie King, if any of you have heard of that one. They're pretty good. Nope. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Ooh.
You've reached the outer walls. I'll try to open a security door. Keep
Destroy
following.
you. Destroy you. Who needs elevators? Okay. I don't need elevators, but okay. Okay, maybe I do need elevators. If only because the elevators are blocking my path. I promise you I don't generally do this badly, but I'm trying to do the Tangle tail thing and it's not working because they just keep knocking me back down. There we go. Right. Pistas0042, what's your thoughts of Sonic.exe and its variants? I do not care for them in the slightest. I don't know much about them. I don't care to learn much about them. You know. Creepy Sonic, fine games, lots of blood, whatever. Still haven't actually played it. And I don't really have any intentions to. And I don't know all of its various incarnations. You've got like a million different ones. You got the entity, whatever. Blah, don't care. And so, why do you completely base outside of characters and level mods? I don't quite get what you mean by that, so if you could reword that, that'd be good. Just so I know what you're talking about before I try and answer. JSR asks, are you winning, son? Yes. No. Maybe. Who knows? Not this exact moment, but generally speaking, yeah, I'm winning. Are you trying to ask what kind of mods I use outside of vanilla characters level packs? Yeah, I've got cross momentum, but I don't really use mods outside of the characters and level packs. The reason for that is because when I'm reviewing these, because a lot of my time playing SRB2 is playing mods and characters and levels in preparation of reviewing them. I don't like doing that with additional mods active at the same time, so like extra momentum when I'm just playing casually, which, you know, I do every so often, but not that much. I'll play it then, but I don't like having it active while I am preparing and testing out characters for review, because it's not really the character, is it? It's extra momentum. It's the star of the show there. Or I can't comment on how good the character is by itself if at the same time I'm also playing with extra momentum active, because that obviously changes how the character plays. Okay, knew that was going to happen eventually. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna skip this. You've seen enough of it already. Assuming I can. I think Pandora's box might be disactivated. Right. Is level select active? Yes. Okay. Good. There we are. You never saw anything. I don't know what it is, but recently my Spotify's been recommending me Techno Legacy, the Mortal Kombat theme, and it sounds... Start at this level sounds just like it, like the synths. I don't know, you know... I don't know whether that's intentional or not, but yeah, sounds just exactly the same. And again, I promise you that I'm generally better at this, but the whole like thinking about the stream and playing the game and commentating on it all at the same time, still not used to it, so dull my senses a little bit. About to sneak through. A little bit of Sage cameo there. I don't know what it is, but there is an annoying glitch. Maybe it's not a glitch, I don't know whether or not it's something on my end. But I've always found this thing with SRB2 that it has a habit of just not recognizing my jump input sometimes. Which is great when, you know, you're running through the level and then you just find yourself dropped. Fantastic. Yeah, like when you're running through a level and you're doing really well and you're really in the flow of the moment. Let's just cheat. There we are. Did we get to the top? No. Go closer to it. Oh. Tiny little lip. So we need to go out a little bit, and there you go. Yeah, okay, the music in this one particular level isn't great. Avoid you. Try and hit you, but my tail just attaches to the ground instead. Fantastic. And this scrap heap, I don't really know why we're here. Dealing with a bunch of Sonic toys, which I think damage you. Because they're all reskinned monitors, but I can't remember what each monitor's been reskinned as. I've just about got that. Good. Big reference up there if you missed it. Went past it too quickly. Go through the window just for a little bit of property damage. Pistas0042 asks, who's your favourite Sonic character, generally speaking? E123 Omega. It's a, you know, maybe not an obscure character or whatever, maybe not like the, you know, first character you look towards, but I just love how unrelentingly violent he is in every single situation. Like, doesn't matter what the situation is, but his first protocol is immense violence. And I appreciate that. I appreciate them having just a Sonic character who, you know, while everyone else is like, oh, let's try and get along. Let's try and fix things. Not super fantastically kind, but are a bit more chill out. Just to have a character who's one protocol in every single situation is just, you need to die. I need to kill you. In every single situation, I love that. Iconic character. This is a good song. I like this song.
Security!
Slim Sprite asks, have you ever tried playing with keyboard and mouse? Trust me, it will save you headaches. I'm no good at playing with keyboard and mouse. This isn't a SRB2 thing. This is just generally. I don't have the hand-eye coordination for keyboard and mouse. Like a controller, you know, it's in your hands. I don't need to look at it. But with a keyboard and mouse, I never learned touch typing, like the whole being able to just press keys on your keyboard without even looking. I never really learned that, or never really practiced it that much. So keyboard and mouse, if I'm playing it, I need to keep looking back down at the keyboard every so often. I'm getting better at it, like the whole not having to look at your keyboard, just to speed up typing generally for scripting and all the rest of it. But I also work on the PC, which obviously I'm playing on here, as well as a Mac for my video editing, which has this awkward thing, which means that effectively I'm working with two different keyboard sizes, and therefore all of the keys are in different places. So every time I get a little bit of progress with the touch typing, I then, you know, go onto the other device, and it's once again have to restart it because it's all in the wrong place. So makes it a bit more complicated. Get out of here. Oh, come on! Which song is this again? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Because I listen to it a lot, but I can't quite remember what the name of it actually is. Ah, Black Hot Vodka, that's it. From Dead Hot Riders. Bet none of you have ever heard of that. But that's another Hideki Naganuma song. One of my favourites from this level pack. So in case you're hearing this and going like, oh yeah, I like this song. Hideki Naganuma, Black Hot Vodka, Dead Hot Riders. Which I think was an arcade game, from the looks of it. Can't really find any information on it in all honesty. Because it turns out that Hideki Naganuma actually worked on a lot of Sega games that were fairly obscure. Don't have much information on them. Right. Oh yeah, no, this, right. I'll look into comments once I get through here, but I hate this song, so I'm going to try and get through as quickly as possible.
Let's meet our new challenges. Shows a nice step, the best step will win the grand prize.
Or I don't hate the song, but the first time I played this stage, I got stuck here for so long that it just drove into my brain, and I'm like, I get it. Like, this isn't so bad, but when you've been stuck here for 15 minutes having to listen to it over and over again, it's like, I get it. Please shut up. Right, I'm not gonna even try and fight you.
It's time for a death battle!
Yeah, can you... Yeah, okay. Right, where are the... Yeah, go away. Get out. Successful pugilist.
Our challengers survive the death battle. Boom. But will they survive the fire challenge?
Spin, 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 yeah. Higher, higher, now, yeah, okay. Lots of fire. Try and avoid it all. Don't do it very good at all. Okay. Ecstasy, I'm terrible at discerning lyrics for songs. Don't ever ask me to sing anything though. I can never get the lyrics for anything. I don't know what it is, but as soon as anyone starts speaking with any sort of vague harmony, I lose all ability to listen to them. Accents, fine with it. The other nightmares, they're pretty stingy with the checkpoints here, so I don't want to go and throw myself off and accidentally go back all the way to the start. Right, there we are. Oh, you... At least there was a checkpoint right there.
Congratulations, you've done.
I heard that voice line far too many times.
Careful, Gold Rebel. The next way is rigged. I've opened a hidden passageway to the master computer.
Destroy the computer. And once the music finishes, I can look at the chat. Right. Maybe because it's based on War from Pizza Town Heavy, it's pretty much Wario coded, yeah. I haven't played Heavy as this, I'm sure it might be good. Right. Pistas asks, what's the first mod you ever downloaded for SRB2? It was Mamie. Mamie the Rosy Robot by... Ooh. I forget. It was a very popular one. Oh. Damn it, who was it? It's not, You all know Mamie. This is a super popular character. You know who I'm be talking about. But yeah, that was the first mod I ever downloaded. A pretty basic one. Then it was Sado. I downloaded the Werehog pretty early. This level is also pretty difficult. I died a lot here the first time. The other... I probably should have mentioned the reason I found the last section, the game so horrible the first time I played it, is because at the very same time I was playing it, I felt like it'd been quite a while since I last played and made a video, so I was kinda trying to get the video out as quickly as possible. So I was kinda, not rushing, but I was playing a lot of it. I was, trying to get scripting and all the rest of it done as quickly as possible. But I had developed just the worst headache I've ever had at the same time as I was doing all of this. So that song, that really like earworm song that's playing through the game section, imagine that but with like the most head-piercing headache you've ever had. Imagine going through all of that and you're feeling like you're on the verge of just throwing up your entire internal organs. Oh, it was hell. It was just awful. So that's the reason that I disliked that section so vehemently. Just felt like it was killing me. Oh, messed that up. Great. Woo. I think this might be another level that I'm going to skip. Because I'm stuck here and I can't get out. I'm going to skip that. And I'm going to go versus Orbot and Cubot. And Source says the A is silent in Mamie. Is it? It's Mimey. Doesn't sound right.
Attention citizens, you've all been brainwashed. Throw down
Couple of familiar faces there.
Drop the malicious tasks given to you. Take a bath. Hitman spies.
Don't think they're particularly good spies. I like to think that as dedicated resistance or whatever soldiers, you'd have recognized Orbot and Cubot. But there we are. Go chase them through the farms. we go. Developing a nice flow, nice rhythm state. Yeah, the one thing I will criticize Roger's levels for is he does have a really bad habit of just spamming bomb throwing enemies just everywhere. It's like, what is this? Does there need to be this many bombs? Like, you know, they're predictable, but even so, they're just ridiculous. Don't really know about the music choice here. It kind of fits for the farm theme, but you know, like we're chasing down. Thought I was stuck there for a moment. I was like, oh, you can't be doing this to me. First time I came into this level, the pigs didn't spawn, so I just like started just dragged forwards for no reason. Yeah, get out of the way.
They're quite persistent. Yeah, they don't give up either.
Right, road. Jump over that entire section. Just like ridiculous number of bombs. Just get completely thrown. First few times I did this, I just kept getting my head stuck on the roof and getting like thrown into the ground. Who would have seen that one coming? The 2D part is very janky with X Momentum. I don't think it's anything to do with Cross Momentum or X Momentum. I think that's just because this game is incredibly janky when it comes to 2D. Like, this game does not like 2D. In the slightest, right? I think we're jumping back down here. Only problem with Knothole is that it all looks the same, so you just get lost.
Did you stop the bots in time?
So, any
Back in
ideas
here.
what to
Hello,
do
SBO.
next?
Freedom Fighters village detected! Attack!
The radar's picking up some kind of military convoy in the Great Forest.
I love convoy levels. I cannot stress enough how much I love convoy levels. I was thinking about making an entire YouTube video about train levels and convoy levels and like why they're so fantastic. And I might do that one day. Once I've done a few more playthroughs and have got a lot more footage for various games, rather than having to steal it off of the internet, I'm just trying to find it. I'll make that video. One day, that's going to be my magnum opus. Just like, why train levels are the greatest gift to mankind. And I swear Tangle's hitbox is a bit off. Didn't notice it in the vanilla game, but I swear these motorbike enemies are not hitting me.
And destroy the navigation computers.
Whoa, whoa, we're on a convoy, baby. I mean, still doesn't stop Roger from sticking a million bombs and cannonballs flying away at all times. It is his guilty pleasure after all. Mine are train levels. Roger has his bombs and cannons and projectiles everywhere to the like extent that it's kind of laughable. We all have our own guilty little pleasures we enjoy having in our games. But there does come a point where it's like, do you really... There does come a point where it's like, do you really need to make it feel like a bullet hell? Is this really necessary? Avoiding you. Go away. the final section of this level is also pretty crazy. Priority. Die. Love the convoy level, reminds me of the tank from Mario 3. Yeah. Chaos Emerald down there. Yeah, sadly, it can't quite match up to the best train and convoy levels out there in SRB2, but seeing as this is on the Doom engine and is a fan-made 3D platformer game, not that surprising. Then, at the end, just like the earlier convoy, you gotta go and hit this central monitor a half dozen times, and there's a million cannonballs in your way to stop you from doing it. Priority number 1. Yes. Priority number 2. Oh, I only need to hit it once. I remember it feeling like you need to hit it more times than that, but there we are. Bit of an anticlimactic ending to it. It'll just kind of turn into PNGs and smash it at the end of the room, but whatever. I feel that this is insulting to SRB2 calling it a Doom mod. I mean, yeah, but it kind of is. I mean, obviously, it's a extreme oversimplification of it, so, but I mean, it's not entirely wrong.
Preventing him from sending a new attack.
Okay, yeah, no, it is completely wrong if you actually know much about game development. It is it's not technically, it's not even the same engine as Doom. It's a later one as well. GZ Doom, which was from like 2004. So it's not even really the original Doom engine, but it's funnier to call it that. Every so often, you need to go and drop out a little bit of misinformation for the sake of making things sound cooler. I remember trying to speedrun this level as X-Sonic a million times over. I'm no good at him. I still can't quite figure out my line of thinking for that was. It's like, I'm not good enough at X-Sonic to make a review of him, but you know what I am good enough at him to do? Speedrunning. I can do a speedrun of X-Sonic. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, clearly people enjoyed it because it was a pretty successful video, but like, yes, good thinking. Yep, I'm not going to bother with that boat section. Instead, going to skip it all, come over here. Break into a casino. Sure, why not? Go away, go away, go! Can I hit? There we are. Took long enough. I don't know what it is about this specific level, but Something about playing this level pack has made Tangle give up on actually hitting enemies with their tail. It just keeps doing the like grip to the floor thing. Don't pass the wall into the water park. I don't really know why like you'll run through the level. Run through the city ends in the water park, but whatever, sure, why not? And of course, there's a slope. And if there's a slope in a Roger level, you know that you have to have some bomb throwing enemies at the end of it. Because it is tradition. He has quotas to fulfill. I know it pains him to put this water slide here and not have an enemy at the top of it throwing bombs down it. Mount. God damn it. The number of speedruns that final motorbike ruined during my speedrun attempts is ridiculous. This is a really fun level at the start of it, and then it falls off towards the end, which is a bit of a shame, but there we are. We're going to go a little over 2 hours once I finish this level pack. Or rage quit at the Metal Sonic boss fight, you know, who knows. I'm going to call it a day because my throat is starting to ache. I'm hoping that once I start doing the playthrough episodes, my voice, we don't go on for like 2 hours, because my voice isn't going to be able to do that every couple of days. Oh, okay. Accidentally survived whatever that was. Yeah, someone saying that because Tangle's tail has a permanent damage hitbox, you could technically destroy enemies just by facing the opposite direction to them. Which is funny, but a bit difficult to manage. The funnier thing is just like the really rapid firing of a tail. Doesn't really work here because of how Roger lays out his enemies. But back in the vanilla campaign, right at the start of this, where I was just, you know, loads of crawlers running around, it's pretty funny, just like completely decimating huge groups of them. See, like, look at this. This is too many projectiles. But yeah, the level kinda falls apart once it starts introducing this plant spring gimmick thing. It just gets so boring. But at least Tangle can skip most of it. So, small mercies, I guess. Million enemies so many cannons. I get it. We'll get it. Straight shot to the end. Sarah TH asks, why Tangle are you going to make a review for her? Possibly. It was a character I've been thinking about for a while. Either that, but mostly this is just practice, because soon enough, the hope is that by the end of this year, hit 5,000 subscribers. I don't know how realistic it is. I think I got a bit excited because right at the end of last year, I got a couple of really big videos all in one go. So I was, and you know, like some of them were giving me 250 subscribers by themselves. So I think I got a bit excited. I was like, you know, going to really make, you know, get really popular this year. And it hasn't really come to pass. I haven't had any videos like that since. So yeah, but because my idea for that for the 5,000 subscriber special is to do a remix or remake that mod ranking video, I need to practice with all of these characters to make sure that they're accurate. Effectively, I'm giving them accurate placements and not just basing it off the fact that I have skill issues with some of them. And because Tangle is so complex, I need lots of early practice. So even after this, off screen, I'll have to do a little more as well. There's that done. Yeah, that bit's fun. I like the music. But this, ugh, having to deal with Metal Sonic, because no one can make a good Metal Sonic boss fight. Even when they're not actually using just the awful Metal Sonic boss fight, it still sucks. Something about Metal Sonic in this game, he has a certain aura around him that makes it impossible for mod developers to make a good fight with him. Yeah, this boss sucks. Capital S, just awful.
Spotted at the Master Asher Mining Center.
I hate these pests.
I like Dr. Stone, he looks like just a complete NPC in comparison to all of the other characters in that roster.
Permission to activate primary defense protocol?
Sage, prepare a grand welcoming party for our esteemed guest. Fresh test soldiers coming our way.
The Eggman voice actor is honestly pretty good. Considering Mike Pollock's recent social media activity, I wouldn't be that surprised if he gets recast soon enough. It's been pretty going a bit crazy on there. And I mean, the obvious one that everyone's pointing to, just like they was to get this guy to voice him instead, has been Paperbox House from the fan dubs, which is honestly pretty good. I wouldn't mind him becoming the next Eggman voice actor. He's pretty good. JSR says people should be making more races against Metal Sonic rather than boss fights. Completely correct. 100%. Right, where are you? Yeah, this boss fight sucks. So it's not going too badly this time, so maybe this time, who knows. Right, come on. No, oh, damn it. Ugh. That frame over the obviously drawn on render of metal, yes. I mean, it's not very subtle, is it? Right, get gone. Yeah, sorry for piping down at this moment, but I want to concentrate for this guy because he sucks and I don't want to fight him any more than I have to. Because he sucks. And now the second part of the boss fight. Where you continue to just kind of damage boost through everything and hope for the best. Oh, just finish, please. Bored. You know,
Intruders have disappeared from our sensors. Location unknown.
yeah, Alfred's, yeah.
Very interesting.
Eggman's current voice actor, even if not for the controversies he's been having on social media recently, he is kind of getting on. He's been voicing Eggman since what, 2005? Like, I don't know how many more recasts he's got in him. Even if they have become slightly less enthusiastic about recasting the rest of the Sonic cast recently. The EW5 one, please enlighten me more on that. I can't remember that one. There we are. I think that's over. Is it? Yep. Another 4 years. Anyway, before we finish, and while someone's already mentioned it, do you think the next mainline Sonic game is going to end up being Frontiers 2? I'm not completely convinced myself. Like, I think it's going to be kind of similar, obviously, but I'm not sure it is going to be just Frontiers. Yeah. Like, so obviously Frontiers kinda revitalized the franchise, even beyond the movies, but it was kind of, a lot of people did point out it's a bit glitchy, laggy. Yeah. I don't know whether they'd go with Frontiers 2. Beyond, like, the most base elements. Like the, hey, you know, even down to the open zone. I think they're going to kind of I think they're going to take elements of it, but I think a lot of it is going to disappear. I think it's going to be quite its own thing quite a bit. Only the silver emerald, yes, because I had to go and restart it through the level select to skip a level, because you don't get that in this campaign. So there we are. So ignore that. But anyway, now it's over. I'm gonna try and find a place where the music doesn't play because it's kind of loud. Level select. Start Lost City. I don't think there's much. Let's start here. I'll just kind of stay in this opening section. Yeah, but yeah, show's over. Stream's done. Just gonna sit here to kind of stop the music from playing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I apologise for the fact that I'm not very good at playing as Tangle. See, he is a difficult character in my defence, but yeah, and especially this last half of it being in a Roger level. I only picked it because Tangle's in it. I didn't necessarily think that much about the fact that because it's so flat, Tangle doesn't actually have much to work with. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll be back in another 2 days. I don't know what I'm going to do it on yet, but I'll find something. This has been a pretty popular stream actually, so it'll probably be another SRB2 video going over another character that I need to do for the mod ranking that is kind of complex and I need that extra practice. I'll look through it, see who I need to practice with, and we'll try there. The other thing I was thinking of doing on stream is speedruns, because I've been thinking back and forth about doing speedruns, like as in like the Exonic one of, you know, chronicling my attempts at speedruns. I figured, well, why not do it on stream, you know? Kinda do that over time, see how that goes. But yeah, show's over. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and so